Hey y'all, it's Amber at Grace Walk Farm. Welcome to my garden. We're in North Carolina's on 7B, and we are happy to have you here with us. We have about 25 raised beds, plus this huge garden behind me here, plus another in-ground area where we're growing tomatoes. So today, we're gonna geek out over plants together. We're just gonna hang out, and I'm going to take you through my garden. This fence is about probably 50 feet long and full of beans. So this is our main canning bean area, and we will can enough green beans for the whole year from what we harvest from this fence from, say, well, we're about to start harvesting, so from July until about October. This is my tomato garden. This year, we've been trellising our tomatoes on these cattle panels that we've attached to T-posts, and it has worked beautifully. Our plants are huge and healthy. I would say they are at least 6.5 feet tall in some places now, and they're loaded with fruit. Look at these San Marzanos. Gorgeous. Just so many clusters of fruit everywhere. So these are my canning tomatoes. And then I also have just your traditional, slicer tomatoes growing as well. So I've been very pleased with this little tomato growing experiment. It's gone quite well, I would say. You see the tromboncino squash hanging on this trellis. Tromboncino squash is a really fun variety. Let me tell you a little more about it. Here behind me, you'll see this tromboncino squash filling the arch. This is my second year growing tromboncino, and I'm honestly kind of obsessed with it. They grow huge. I mean, this thing's already easily 2 feet long. Once they fully mature, they turn kind of a buttery color like a butternut squash, and you can harvest and save them to use like winter squash. But if you would harvest them now before they're completely ripe and you cut them up, you can use them just like a yellow crookneck squash, but you get a ton of squash from each one. So this is a really fun thing to grow on a trellis, and as you can tell, I mean, they just fill the trellis up quickly. This is 3 plants that has covered this huge trellis. If we keep going on the second arch, we have green beans that are coming in nicely on each side. And then in this bed, we have just a yellow crookneck squash. And then we've got some Cherokee bell peppers back here, some rosemary, and some dill for pest control and companion planting purposes. There's a little pineapple sage plant tucked in here, sunflowers. And then if you kind of get down in here, we also have some basil started, which it's way too shaded from these sunflowers and from the squash. So I will most likely carefully dig that up and move that to a different location now that this bed is starting to fill in. And behind it is very, very full, and that is zucchini. Here is the other side of the peas. I'm actually kind of using twine in a different way this year. So we strung up 1, 2, 3 pieces of twine just to kind of hold these peas up so we could grow some things beside of them. And that's worked out really well. We've got lettuce, beets, more lettuce, more beets. So that's kind of what's going on over here. But the peas are making me so happy. They look awesome. And then this bed is more potatoes. I know. Did we not have enough potatoes? But we actually, we bought 50 pounds of seed potatoes this year. And then Josh's mom and dad gave us a bunch more. We ended up with 150 pounds of seed potatoes. So we decided to kind of trade off. And his mom and dad are growing the corn, and we're growing the potatoes, and then we'll trade. So lots of potatoes. This whole bed is the Kennebec. So first of all, let me show you the potatoes. This is our potato garden. This area is really where we grow pumpkins. It's our pumpkin patch, but we decided this year to put in a round of potatoes first, and then when we harvest these here in probably about a month, we will come behind these and we will plant some pumpkins for this fall. Marigolds are one of those things that I put everywhere in my garden. These beautiful orange flowers are French marigolds, and I actually put French marigolds in every single garden bed that we grow. So I need a lot of marigolds. The reason that I love these so much is they are a natural pest deterrent. So things like squash bugs and hornworms and aphids, all of the bad bugs that will destroy your crop, they hate marigolds. So when you add marigolds around those things, it actually protects your vegetable plants so you get a better harvest. Another one of my favorite plants to grow is Malabar spinach. This is a heat-loving spinach, which makes it totally different from any other variety that I might grow in the garden. So even here in North Carolina, where our summers get really hot and humid, we can still grow Malabar spinach all the way through until the fall. The key with Malabar is it loves to climb, so you need to give it some sort of good sturdy trellis. And the vines can be a little bit crazy, so just be prepared to constantly train them to go where you want them. Here you can see them kind of running into the walkways, and I just go through and cut the vines when they get wild like this. But today I'm actually harvesting some of this Malabar spinach so that I can freeze it. Malabar spinach freezes really, really well. So give this one a try too.